Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Of course, as usual, I'm your host, Scott Lewis. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. I'm Not Gonna Hold You at INGHY Show on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the Patreon. All those links are in the description box, man. So, as usual, got my co-host JR Bang here. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms as well. Shout out to everybody watching on all multiple platforms right now, man. So, got a big show for y'all today. We're going to talk about everything going on in the world of the NFL, the NBA, and yeah, man, let's just get right into it. But Bang, how you feeling?
I am feeling good, man. It's Friday. After this, I'm going ahead and take a shot. This has been one of those weeks. But yeah, man. Did finish the Game of Thrones rewatch.
The full Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Shouts out to the wife finally finishing Game of Thrones. So she had some good conversation around Daenerys and all of the other folks over there. We going old school with the next rewatch. We watching Sliders, fam. I don't even think you remember.
I don't even know what the hell Sliders is.
Sliders is a show that came on Fox with Jerry O'Connell. They was going from like dimension to dimension. The little thing that he had got broke, so they was just going to random shit. They was stuck. I used to love that show for the first season, but I was like, 13, 14 years old? I wanted to watch it again. So that's my rewatch.
Jerry O'Connell. I had to Google him. All right, I know that dude. I just don't know the name off the top of my head. But yeah, man. I'm all right. It's Friday. Just got this ESPN alert. So I don't know why Adam Schefter is getting non-NFL alerts, but Tiger Woods was arrested and charged with DUI, property damage, and refusal to submit, per the Martin County Sheriff in Florida. That boy be tripping. This is like the third accident he done been in. He already got that messed up back. So I don't get that. But anyway, let's just start with the man in the first period of the show. You know, we always talk about a random topic that sometimes ain't got much to do with sports. So I want to talk about this Jay-Z interview that came out this week. Shout out my boy Frazier, man. He's one of the editors over at GQ. He did the interview. I actually had an interview with him too. We did a pod during the summer, but I think something happened with the file, man. StreamYard fucked something up. But shout out my guy Frazier, man. He's done a lot of dope interviews, and I thought this one was pretty good too. Now, in the last week, you may have noticed, or maybe you haven't. I'm not going to be one of the people who go on Twitter and announce that I'm not really on Twitter no more, because really, who cares? But I haven't really been on Twitter. I have made a conscious decision to take off every social media platform, with the exception of Instagram, off my phone. There's no specific reason. I just had a moment Saturday where I was watching TV and I was just scrolling just to be scrolling. It wasn't no specific tweet that angered me. There was no situation that angered me or irritated me. I was just like, man, I done picked up this phone about 5 times in 25 minutes and just scrolling.
Doom
scrolling. I was like, yeah, doom scrolling. And I already my enjoyment level of Twitter in the last, I want to say, 7 years, definitely post pandemic, has gotten less and less. It's been more necessity than enjoyment. And then you look at the landscape of content and content creators. And I had a nice discussion about this with my man Big Waz. With that whole podcast is actually on Patreon right now. The Big Waz episode for the Monday or Tuesday, probably depending on what days I'll be dropping it. Exclusive interviews. So if you want to check that out, I dropped that this past Tuesday. We was talking about like apps you need if you're a content creator, media personality, journalist, whatever you would say you are. And Twitter's not a need anymore. As long as you got YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, or one of those things, you're pretty much good. Now you can still post your links on Twitter, which is what I do. But I was just like, man, let's just get this on my phone. And I'll be finding myself going at it with random people on TikTok. I was like, it's just too much, man. So I have deleted all those apps off my phone, with the exception of Instagram, because I actually enjoy Instagram. I know some people don't. I like it. The way my algorithm is set up is nothing but funny reels. It's funny reels, Bear stuff, and Arsenal stuff. That's all I need to see. Oh, and hoes. That is it. That is all that is in my IG algorithm. Hoes, Arsenal, Bears, and funny reels. So I'm fine with it. So that will stay on my phone. But Twitter and TikTok, I've taken off, and I have reserved that only for my iPad on my MacBook. So basically, I've got to go out of my way to go on said apps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I still have to post my content, so I just put it on my iPad. My iPad is across the room 95% of the day, unless I'm going on a flight or something. So I was saying this past week, my mind has been so much more clear. And I say all that to say that, to bring it back to the Jay-Z thing, I have been told that there's been a big conversation over this Jay-Z interview. And I've seen certain tweets that people posted on their Instagram stories. Now I'll say this. Y'all know I'm a card-carrying Hove Venger. Having said all of that, Hove cannot fool me. Like, Jay says a lot of stuff that since I'm a day one, I can be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and I read this interview. Good questions, by the way, by Frazier. He's out of, what's the word I'm looking for? He's out of touch, which you would expect, 55, 56-year-old billionaire. Jay has been rich way longer than he was broke. And when he was broke, he was still street rich. Okay, so I don't think Jay-Z is ever wanted for anything, maybe since he was 15 years old. Because we know the stories about Jay-Z being a major drug dealer in New York City that even his enemies say is true, okay? And there was one line out there where he said, I think that there's cool billionaires, or if you say that all billionaires are terrible people, it's a cop-out. I understand what he's trying to say. He doesn't want to be viewed as a terrible person. But I'm one of the people who believe that once you cross the $500 million mark after taxes, you did something unsavory to get to that point. Now, that's totally fine. I personally don't think I could do something like that. But
well,
I believe everybody.
Hot this episode, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta keep it real. And I'm a Hove guy. Now, here's my issue. I personally do not care because I do not put celebrities on a totem pole or a pedestal. You have to do something of an R. Kelly level for me to not mess with your work anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always believed that most people in entertainment ain't worth a damn. So because Brett Ratner is a terrible human being, I'm supposed to stop watching Rush Hour?
You're not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna do it. And if you can look at every type of entertainment, I don't care. And I hate that we let white people take the word woke because I still use it from time to time because there actually was a meaning to it. You be the most woke dude on planet Earth. There's something that you enjoy. And I'm pretty sure a terrible human being is behind it. That's what it is. I can't listen to R. Kelly music because I know some of his crimes are in his songs. All right? That's what I personally can't do. But when I say with Jay-Z is just keep making music, Jay, I don't really care. What else? One tweet I saw. I don't remember the person's name, and if I did, I'm not gonna out them on the show. They put that Jay-Z represents something that we're trying to get away from, but I still will be at Yankee Stadium for the concerts. We need to move away from stuff like this. That's hypocritical to me. If you're that anti what he's saying, don't go to the concert. If you're so anti-billionaire, you're putting more money in this billionaire's pockets. So that type of stuff don't make sense to me. And then we get to the point where you got people getting mad at Frazier. Oh, you didn't ask any pressing questions. It's the same idiots who criticize people like me and people who are in these press conferences. Oh, you didn't ask Ben Johnson why he was an idiot for running this play at the goal line. I know I'm aware that a lot of y'all don't know what goes on in these rooms. But if you ask these hard-hitting questions, you're not going to be in these rooms again. I'm not going to be in a room, and as much as I criticize Ryan Poles, like say, hey, fatty, why don't you actually spend money on free agency? I'm not going to say that. Why? I want to be welcome in Hallis Hall, okay? And the average fan isn't going to do that either. It's a whole bunch of talking. And that's just what I saw on Instagram. I haven't been on Twitter to see the full spiel, which I'm glad I'm not, because every day there's something. I just think that Jay is a little out of touch, which is natural. But I feel like at some point, if you're really that hard line taking a stance to get it, I'm anti-billionaire, which is fine. You got to look yourself in the mirror too. And that's why I always look at it like, if you're so anti-billionaire, take Amazon off your phone. Like, you're contributing. So I remember somebody got real mad when I tweeted, everybody's anti-capitalism, but they still got an Amazon account. Oh, people got mad at me. But it's true. So that's where my long rant went. So I'm going to give the floor to you.
So I read the interview and I watched the interview. I watched the YouTube joint. And I loved it. First of all, I miss interviews like these. I miss hip hop journalism like this. And shouts out to my man Doma T. Pongo, who talked about one of the issues that he have with this type of journalism is not the journalism, it's the media run. Because normally what will happen is, okay, now the next person who does the interview during this interview run is going to pick up where this other person left off. Then that person's going to pick up to where this other person left off. So whatever they didn't get to in the GQ interview, they'd do in the New York Times interview, and whatever they would do in the okay, baby wipes, whatever they would do in that interview. Thank you for that, though. I didn't realize it was seen
I
like
didn't know
this.
you had the baby wash. My fault.
And no, you good. I didn't realize it was gonna be seen like that. But
Black parenting people.
there you go. So I understand Domity's point, and I think he's right. The other part of this is too is man, this interview showed me how much rap podcasters have taken over. Because now you're starting to see, I think Oskino had put um oh man, Memphis Bleak. Jay-Z did an interview with GQ, but you got your own podcast. And man, look, if anybody's gonna use that, they just don't like you. And you just need to move on. Jay-Z was not going to do his first interview in 10 years during a podcast. Not saying that he doesn't need to, it wouldn't be cool to do, but there's some platforms that are needed for these type of situations. And this one was GQ magazine and what we got. Now, with that being said, here's what I'll say my generation. I won't even put you in this, Scott, because I don't think you're considered a millennial, are you? Was you in the
I
other
was
shit?
born in 1988. I am a millennial.
Oh yeah, you admit. I keep forgetting how like old or young you are. So you are that too.
Don't box me up with Generation Z, please.
I'm glad I didn't. What irritates me about my generation is that they don't realize that they too are out of touch at a certain point in time. And they don't want to be out of touch. Jay-Z ain't out of touch just because he's a billionaire. Jay-Z's out of touch because he's 50 plus years old. There
Yeah,
are
he
some
is.
things.
Jay was never an 80s baby. I used to hate that. 80s
Right.
baby. You were like in your 20s in the 80s. I'm
Right,
an 80s baby, okay?
Right. So here's the thing. When Jay-Z was talking about battling, I agree with him. And you know why I agree with him? It's not because of the rappers in the battle. It's because of niggas like you. Pointing dead at the camera. Like you. Why? Because, man, y'all took this battle too far. I thought Jay-Z versus Nas split hip hop. Oh, man. This Drake versus Kendrick Lamar thing, it went way too far. From y'all and how y'all communicated this and how y'all hated this person but like this person and doing. That's what Jay-Z was talking about. As far as the art, it comes with it. But the competition comes with it. But man, you stands out there made it not fun anymore. And after a while, it
By the
wasn't
way, he's
funny.
not talking about me. All right,
Right, I
let's
ain't talking
just
about
keep this
Scott.
at it.
I'm actually not talking about Scott.
Orlando.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Scott, not talking about Pav. I'm not talking like fam, like y'all made this whole thing just weird. And the thing is this is a 50 plus man talking about how this is weird. Jay-Z at his younger age probably wouldn't have said it because he's younger. But as you get older and you grow, you just be like, man, this ain't it no more. Because you're talking to a 50 plus year old man. There's things that I used to do in my 20s and 30s that I look at 43 years old and be like, yeah, that shit lame. So I agree with him on that. And quite honestly, he should be out of touch. He's 50 plus years old. If you're thinking in the same way that you were thinking at 20 and 30 years old at 50 plus, you've not grown. So you should be out of touch. And you know what? I feel like I'm out of touch sometimes, and I can't wait till I'm more out of touch. I love this interview. I hope interviews like this coming back. I hope to see Jay Z in a full interview run. I doubt it though. And I would love to see Jay Z hit, you know, Memphis Bleak's podcast or Joe Budden or Drink Champs. I would love that because here's the thing: Jay Z watches those. He watches them, so he's
And the
aware.
thing, first of all, I didn't know that was Oskino who
Yeah,
posted
that was
that. I thought it was
Oskino.
some random IG dude. Number one, Bleak said he don't even like asking Jay for Beyonce tickets. So what you think he don't ask Jay about getting on a podcast? I just think that's unrealistic. And here's the thing too. I am a very huge proponent of upgrading. Okay. I'm Jay-Z. No, I'm not going on a podcast. Okay. I don't care if it's Joe Budden. I'm Jay-Z. I'm not doing a podcast. I'm just not. People are like, oh, Jay-Z thinks he's above the culture. Some people are. Michael Jordan is above the NBA. It is what it is.
He wasn't above the culture when he did the interview with Elliot Wilson and B-Dot.
How many years ago was that? That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference. Elliot, it's going to sound crazy. Elliot is somebody who was one of the journalists back in the day. And I think that, and I'm a big Budden fan. I like Budden's podcast. I don't watch as much as I used to. And I do think that if there was any podcast that would do a Jay interview right, it would be Joe Budden.
Yep.
Now, it would have to be one of those episodes where you can't have Flip on there or Mona. It would just have to be like
It would just have to be Joe by himself like he did with Ross and some of the others.
Yeah, it would have to either Joe by himself or like Joe Parks, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those type things. But I feel like, I think it was still dope that he did the interview. But as a Jay-Z fan, I call myself a Jay-Z super fan. I'm not calling myself a stan. Because unlike a lot of y'all, I know the origin of Stan came from. Go back and watch the Eminem video, okay? That's y'all with abbeys of these artists on Twitter, okay? That's what you're talking about. A lot of people think the word Stan. I think a lot of people don't know what the word Stan means. Stan was the name of a character that Eminem came up with in his songs. Okay, go back and do your research. And I was talking to him. I know we get a little long in the tooth right now, but we ain't got too many topics today. I was talking to Pavy about this. By the way, if you read the description and it says Pavy, he was supposed to be here. He is asleep. I'm outing him right now on the internet. I have known this man. I've known Pav so long that I don't even remember the exact year I met him. That's how long I've known him. It's been at least 30 though, around that, 28. And I was his roommate for 6 years.
So you know.
You could rob Pav blind when he sleep. In fact, shout out my boy Mike from Pillars. Mike car got towed at Pavy's birthday in Lower Wacker because Pav was asleep in his hotel room that had our car keys.
Dang.
Just want to throw that out there, how deep of a sleep he is. So he's supposed to be on here, but he sleep. But anyway, what I'm saying is I like that Hove did the interview, but I also felt like I didn't learn anything. You know what I'm saying? That's also why I said last week, I'm cool with getting an album from Jay-Z. If I get one,
those,
awesome. Huh?
What you gonna learn new?
Nothing. That's my point.
We good.
Yeah.
Like, look, I don't want to get long, but I'm just gonna nail my part like this. Back in the day, some of the most anticipated television was Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters sitting down with celebrities and stuff like that. We will never get that again. We will never get Barbara Walters at 9:00 on Friday night.
Connie
She's
Chung
interviewing
sitting
Whitney
down
Houston.
people.
Then she got a segment where she's interviewing Whitney Houston. Then the next segment is Eddie Murphy. The next segment is Richard Pryor. The next segment.
Remember when Oprah went to Neverland?
Yeah, like we're not gonna get that. So we need to appreciate that. But the only thing we got new out of this is hearing him talk about the allegations and his thoughts on Kendrick. And guess what's the only thing y'all wanted to hear? Those two things. You didn't want it, you didn't care if he was gonna announce a new album because you knew he wasn't gonna do that in that setting. You wanted to hear homie talk about the Epstein allegations. You wanted to talk about the Busby thing with old girl, and you wanted to hear him talk about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. The only thing he didn't talk about was Epstein, and he's not going to talk about that because that is probably the dumbest out of all of them because in the damn thing, the woman was talking about how Pusha T was his right-hand man and all of that shit.
First of all, one thing I guarantee,
ain't real.
that Jay-Z didn't know Harry Weinstein in 1996. Okay?
Right. It's like, come on, man. But that's all y'all wanted to hear. And the only reason why y'all wanted to hear that is simply because of what? Because you want salacious shit. And that's because you get that from the podcast, you get that from the blogs. That's what you wanted. Man, Jay-Z and homie, I can't remember my man's name, and I don't want to continue saying my man. So Jay-Z in that interview brought it back to the way the shit used to be in the 80s when you had Barbara Walters coming in and you about to hear a conversation with somebody. And I thought that conversation was dope. We didn't have to have no Wendy Williams style conversation with somebody trying to badger somebody about being on the Epstein list, or this the whole thing about Busby and Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Because quite honestly, I could tell you one question that I hate hearing now. I don't give a damn about anybody's thoughts about Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
It was 2 years ago.
Was last year. It is over.
Biden was still in office, man.
Right. So that irritates me. I'm tired of hearing that I'm tired of hearing that question. That question is now played out, but I get and understand why you asked Jay-Z that. But I'm tired of that question right there. Like, all right, man.
I'll end it on this too. Guys, give a shout out to my guy Frazier one more time. I know I've shouted him out like 4 or 5 times. But Frazier, one of the homies. That's why when you said the video, I was like, oh shit, Frazier got the exclusive. A lot of people were trying to go in on his journalistic credibility, which I was like, bro, go look at my man's resume, G.
Right.
He interviewed everybody. And trust and believe, Jay-Z screens who interviews him. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
So, big shout out to Frazier, man. And the words of Jay-Z, everybody tell you how to do it, they never did it. That's what people love to do, man. So anyway, let's move on and let's talk about some sports, man. A conversation that kind of low key started last week, which Bang kind of brought this up, and I think Bang is the reason for this. I don't know. I don't even think it's a lawsuit. I don't know what it is yet.
It's
But
my
we
fault.
talk up. Yeah, it's your fault. And Caleb, it's his fault. It's not mine. Both of us are right here though. So Caleb Williams got the nickname the Iceman last season by his teammates because he's ice cold in the clutch, which we saw all last season. He is okay. So on this program last week, Bang was like, "Man, I wonder what George Gervin feels about this." The first time that anybody he's brought up George Gervin post pandemic. So what happened is he's put in an application to get a trademark. Now, for people who don't know, I have been a part of a trademark process before. When we got Pavy's name trademarked, it took about 9 to 10 months for it to get official. We own the trademark, so if anybody uses that name, my lawyers will be hollering at you. But anyway, it goes through a full process, and there were other people with that name, but they weren't used in the market as frequently as we were. So we got granted the trademark. Now, for anybody who's in the know, George Gervin was the original Iceman. Now, there's been 100 people named the Iceman in sports since. Okay. Drake's next album is called Iceman. Okay. And George Gervin, in that time, like I said on this program last week, he never got it trademarked.
Scott was
And
right.
now, because he sees this young man trying to capitalize, he's like, "Oh no, young brother," and he put a lot of respect in that press release. Whatever
Very
he did.
much did.
I'm a big
Very much so.
fan. He's gonna be good, but I'm the original Iceman. I hate to say this because I love George Gervin. I'm a George Gervin fan. I remember I had the old Slam poster when the Spurs won a title in '03 and they did the Iceman cover with Tim Duncan and George Gervin. Oh, it's Tim Duncan, a new Iceman. I had all on my wall. Big respect to George Gervin. Most people don't know you alive, brother. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. But Caleb Williams, I believe, is going to be granted this trademark. And we have people talking, coming out, Skip Bayless coming out, whatever hole he's in, saying stuff about Caleb. And one thing I love about my
You
quarterback,
on a
he
roll
got
today,
time.
Jack. You on the roll.
He had time for him today, man. And I need to bring up the actual tweet that Caleb had about Skip Bayless, where he actually corrected him for what a word actually means. I'm trying to pull this up right here. Um, did I actually like that? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My Instagram likes is crazy. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, so Skip said, "I'm a Caleb Williams fan, but I was a much bigger Iceman Gervin fan, and I'm offended Caleb and Co. are trying to steal Georgia's all-time great nickname. I'll unleash today on Arena Gridiron." So Caleb retweeted him with the definition of the word steal. He said, "I don't care about where your fandom stands. I was trying to give you and everyone else the benefit of doubt about knowing business and being smart about it, but I guess not. Foolish of me. Also, words matter, Skip Bayless. Steal. Enjoy that podcast." So, nice clap back from Caleb. I honestly think there's going to be a situation, and me and Joe talked about this on 79th and Hallis a day or two ago, which is on the Patreon right now. And Joe was bringing up this thing where if you're in two different markets, you can both have a trademark. But
Right.
since he's not filing a trademark, George Gervin, and hasn't had it filed and has had decades to file it, I don't think this is going to be an issue. I think they're going to grant it to Caleb. I just think, honestly, all respect to George, if he really cared about that name, he'd have took care of that a long time ago. That's pretty much what I think about it.
So there's a couple of things here. First of all, I think this argument is dumb. And I'm not talking about from George Gervin or George Gervin's people or from Caleb and Caleb's people. I'm talking about these fans. Like, see, this is the part of conversation debates I don't like getting into because then you get Bears fans who show their standum by supporting Caleb Williams on a copyright debate. At the end of the day, you shouldn't even give a shit about this. Like a fan should not care about who gets this trademark. Skip Bayless shouldn't care. We shouldn't care. This at over here with numbers on the back of their name shouldn't care. Nobody should care. This is a legal conversation that has nothing to do with us. Now, that being said, though, I don't know. I don't know. There's been people who have had nicknames that have tried to trademark said nickname and couldn't. I see this going both ways because, to your point, yeah, he has not copyrighted it, but there's enough when it comes to George Gervin and Iceman, where I would not be surprised if they say, "Hey, George, you could get it." What you also mentioned as well is that what I don't think, and I may have missed it, is you could get trademarks for different things. Like, so somebody could have a trademark and this person could use it for this, somebody could use it for that. So I don't know if this fits in this occasion because George Iceman Gervin, anything is going to be around basketball related items and things of that nature, where Caleb is going to be around football. But here's the other thing about this, which is lame to me. Fam, you got Jerry. The first Iceman I know that my parents knew is Jerry Iceman Butler. For anybody that lives in Chicago, you know who that man is because not only was that man an icon, a famous singer, a rock and roll Hall of Famer, but he also was a politician in Chicago. Then there's George Gervin. Then you have somebody like Chuck Liddell. Just go Google athletes with the Iceman nickname. You even got Scott Dixon, who's a NASCAR racer currently. That is nickname. His nickname is the Iceman. You got Chuck Liddell. The one thing that makes me laugh about this is when Chuck Liddell was whooping people's asses in the
He used it
UFC.
more than anybody.
Right. Nobody was like, oh man, he's using this Iceman nickname. He shouldn't because it's George Gervin. The reason why people are having this conversation is because people don't like Caleb Williams. That's it. That is all. That Iceman nickname has been used. And the fact that I was watching my favorite love-hate relationship show, Unsportsmanlike, and they talked about it this
I thought
morning
you were
on the
gonna say the
show.
bear.
And 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 Chris Canty and Evan and old girl, they was like, "Yo, you made up nickname. This is not a made up nickname." Caleb Williams didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to be called Iceman." No, he did not. It actually correlates to Drake announcing that his name of his album was going to be Iceman, and then this happening, and then from there
But that was
it was
after his teammates called him that. His teammates
right, and
called him
his
that in the locker
teammates
room.
started calling him that
Yeah.
partly because of the Drake Iceman thing, and that's where it came from, and that's where it sticks. I even saw somebody say,
And one kid,
"Man,
what he had, he was at Drake house. He did that Yeet video that was
yes,
shot at Drake crib.
exactly." I saw somebody say, "Well, I hope he grows out of that nickname." Iceman means you just cold blooded and you don't care what's in front of you. So it could be a comeback thing, or it could be, yo, I'm gonna beat you by 55 points. That
Right.
name don't stick. But it just shows me how much people hate this kid.
Yeah.
And we could have debates about talent and stuff all day long, but that's why I say I don't care about who gets this trademark. I ain't getting paid for it. I'm not gonna buy no Iceman jersey or anything like that. But to have this conversation and you're against him using a nickname that you have nothing to do with, it just shows me how much you hate this kid and how this is lame as hell. Now, on the business aspect of it, it is crazy here. It is crazy here that nobody on George Gervin's team thought to trademark the name. But it is also crazy that Chuck Liddell didn't copyright it. You mean to tell me that none of those two copyrighted the name? I honestly would have thought that the UFC and Chuck Liddell
But
would have
also,
did
what's
that.
funny too, I wonder what these people think. Because on a non-sports level, I think Paris Hilton just copyright or trademarked "hot" like a decade ago, and she was
Yeah.
saying that for 25 years.
That's what, if y'all want to have a conversation about something, be shocked and surprised that a man who has used this name since the 70s have not copyrighted that. That
Yeah,
is crazy to me. But what it also shows is the business thought and aspect of Caleb Williams. Like, yo, if you gonna give me this name, I'm gonna copyright it. It was somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they gave that person that nickname, and then all of a sudden they just start trademarking
I know
everything.
who you're talking about. I just don't remember who it was, but I know who
Yeah,
you're talking about though.
man,
Yeah,
but that's smart. If anything, look at the George Gervin thing. I'll just end it like this. Look at the George Gervin thing as something where you look at and like that was a dumb decision for nobody to trademark that name, because anybody then uses that, you get paid for it. And that's a common ass nickname. So
yeah.
imagine all of the money that George Gervin could have probably had by getting permission to use that. Because I look at this like Hulk Hogan. For those who don't know, Hulk Hogan owned Hulk Hogan name. The
WWE didn't own that.
WWE, the WWE normally gives their wrestler the name and they own that trademark. They own that IP. Hulk Hogan was like, well, let me go ahead and trademark this shit and go watch some old WWF shit. At the bottom of the screen, at the small print, it shows you Hulk Hogan, Incredible Hulk Hogan, Immortal Hulk Hogan, Hulk Rules, and anything is owned by Hulk Hogan. So I would have thought that you would learn from Hulk Hogan as soon as your name become popular, trademark that shit because he got paid tremendously off the name alone. Another person that I thought that y'all would think about is Tina Turner. Just go watch Love. What's Love got to do with it? Ike was like, no, the name belonged to me. She said, I earned that name. Tina Turner ain't a real name. That's a stage name. And she owned it to the point that they just sold her name to a company to be able to use for anything. So I'm very shocked that George Gervin
And
did not
another thing too.
trademark that.
Remember when the Jacksons left Motown? Barry Gordy owned the Jackson Five, so they had
Hmm.
to go to the Jacksons when they
Jacksons.
was on a different label.
Yeah. So if anything, you should applaud Caleb Williams for having the business mind state of trademarking this name. And you should look at George Gervin's people and say, why didn't y'all do that? Because when I look at people like Hulk Hogan, when I look at people like Tina Turner, when I look at, I'm sure Dr. J got that trademark. When I look at things like Air Jordan, when I think of names like Shaq, it's trademarked. And that's why, and Bobby's right. That's why when you look at companies like Famous Amos, who did not own that name and therefore did not have the money that they should have had, you look at that as I look at it as a sympathetic situation, but at the same time, you got to have people around you to say, hey, make sure you do that. That should be the conversation, not he shouldn't have this nickname, because if that's the case, then Skip, you shouldn't have Skip Bayless, even if your birth name is Skip, because there's other people that was named Skip that is
Skip
more
to my Lou.
like you have other people that was Skip and all of this stuff, and you have other people have nicknames and all of that stuff. This wasn't even a debate when LaMelo was like, "Yo, I'm Mello," and Carmelo was like, "Oh, I'm the real Mello." This wasn't even that. So it's like, yo, y'all, this is getting lame to me. This should be more of a business conversation
Wait,
and really questioning why this wasn't done 44 years ago and not, man, he should have this name because he's the original. No, but he's Iceman now. Like, that's when we get to the lanes where I'm looking at everybody and like, y'all lame as hell.
shout out my boy Braggs in the chat. Shout out to Braggs. He said, "I'm gonna fight every old person about this." I mean, yeah, I mean, you know how I go with people like we have these allegiances and stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
is
Like I said,
that's when I get like, yo, y'all go get some ass.
at the end of the day, man, it don't matter if he get the trademark or not. I'm not gonna stop calling him Iceman.
Right, we
So,
not gonna start. You gonna stop calling George Gervin Iceman? Nope.
I mean, I don't ever really think of George Gervin, but no,
I
I'm
mean,
not.
I'm saying it wouldn't come up, but a watch, but there's a dope ass ABA documentary on Amazon that is extremely dope. It is must watch, and George Gervin has a lot to say about the ABA and how the
And it's no
ABA influenced
disrespect
and
to
all that
George
stuff.
Gervin, by that. Shout out
No,
to the
you did
OG.
disrespect George
I
Gervin though
did.
on Summer
I
Sessions a
did.
couple of months ago.
What'd I say?
It was some stuff that I had compared somebody to George Gervin, and you and Pav basically was like George Gervin was Huff. Y'all did. Y'all
No,
did.
we were probably doing the top 100 list or something. I was like, we got to rechange some people out there, which I agree with.
Y'all, I was
Some
like,
people
how we
got to
just gonna
come out.
disrespect George Gervin? But yeah,
Some
other than
people
that,
got to
y'all
come
lame as
out.
hell, man. Talk about the business shit. If y'all on Twitter talking about some my favorite quarterback should be named Iceman, I'ma think you a virgin.
They probably are. I mean, there's people
Think
out
you a
there
virgin. Like you don't get
with
no
with
ass.
Caleb as their athletes. You know what I'm
You
saying?
care
I
so
always
much about
say,
this
if
Iceman nickname, you
somebody
don't get no
has
ass.
a picture on Twitter, it's not them. Not all the time, but most of the time, they're a teenager or a bot.
Yeah.
No ifs and buts.
Or
That's
virgin.
what it
Add the
is.
virgin in there. Because
Which is
there's a
probably
lot of
the
40
same
year old
thing.
dudes that be in their mama basements. It's like, can't.
You've never had the tender
They
touch of
had
a
a
woman.
rag on the side of him every time he scored a touchdown. That's
All right, man. Moving on.
Scott, they like
they got dried
oh
up
man.
socks by
Yeah,
their bed.
they got
Like, what
dried
you
up
doing,
socks.
man?
They get the
Come on,
rags from
man.
the Bears games.
All
They get the
right, man. The
rags.
playoffs.
But look, Brags, I understand though. Brags, I understand. Hey, I ain't tripping. You understand. I'm talking about these other folks. They got the rags by their bed. We get the dude wipes. All right, we got to move on because you know
The dude reps.
I'll heat somebody on here. These
Yeah.
dude wipe ass dudes.
But let's move on, man. More NFL stuff. So I was watching Rich Eisen this week and Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. He was on there. And I feel like Florio has been breaking a lot of news lately, or he's been on top of a lot of stuff. I'll say over the last year or so. And he said something that had me going. So he would talk about the upcoming Super Bowls next year. Obviously, it's going to be in Los Angeles. Thank God. And I am saying thank God because I don't have to pay for a hotel. I can stay for the whole damn week.
Yeah.
I can do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I know where the location is at. I know how much time it's going to take me to get from each location.
You
And I
good.
lived
This
there
your
when the
home.
2022 Super Bowl. So I know how to get around.
You going
So,
home. I feel you.
yeah, I'm going home. It's my second home. But I say all that to say this. They would talk about the Atlanta Super Bowl. And Rich Eisen was like, I find it interesting that there's not a date for the Super Bowl in 2028, but it'll be 2027 season. And Mike Florio was like, there's a reason for that. I think that the 18-game schedule is going to come as early as the 2027 season. And they don't want to lock in a date just in case that 18th game season is already in effect and they've got to push it back. Because we want the NFL, Rice Goodell wants the NFL to be as close to year-round as possible. So they want the Super Bowl to be like President's Day weekend or something like that, around the time that the NBA All-Star game usually is, which means Adam Silver is going to have to push his stuff back again. And Roger Goodell is going to have to pull the Marlo. I'm going to tell you to go pack up your people and be a gentleman about it at the moment. And they're going to have to push All-Star break back again. But anyway, I looked at it like, he's not just saying that for just out of thin air. And I think there might actually be some truth to this. This is my thought on the 18-game season. I know a lot of people like to come up here and act like they care about player safety. I do not. Okay? I am up here for my entertainment strictly. Okay? They know what it was when they signed that contract. The players got to vote on this. So if the players vote on it, Obviously, they fine with 18-game season. Now, with this, there's going to be 2 bye weeks, and I think they said it would be a requirement that the players don't have to play the 18th game. It would like they have to at least play 17 or something like that. That Florio was throwing out there, and I'm just looking at it like this: the more football, the better for me. That's just pretty much where I'm at with it. I'm not the man out there playing, okay? And the later we can have the Super Bowl or the NFL schedule, the quicker we are to getting the NFL back for me. So I thought this was an interesting observation. I don't have too much of an opinion on it. I think it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to the next two Super Bowls because of the cities they're in, LA and then Atlanta. But it sounds like this could be a quick turnaround. What do you think about 18 games?
Man, I hate to say that I'm with you, but I'm with you. If
It's
y'all
fine to
vote
be
on
with
it,
me.
I'm cool with it. Like if y'all vote on 18 games, then I'm cool with it. I think I saw something with that said that it's 18 games, but they play like players will play up to 17 games and stuff like that. Look, whatever y'all vote on, I'm cool with it. So if this ends up being voted on and it happens, then I bet because y'all got to play that. I ain't got to play it. I just get to watch and cheer and be real happy if the Bears win or be dejected when they lose. That's all I'm worried about. Y'all like it? I love it. I do think it's a lot of wear and tear. Don't get me wrong. I do think it's a lot of wear and tear because when you now add college football, potentially teams having more games because of the playoffs, and shit, by 2027, who knows? It might be a 2014 playoff, right?
Which is ridiculous, man. Just leave
Yeah,
it where it's
so
at right now.
so when you have college football players potentially playing more games, and then you add another game on it, I do have a concern on the wear and tear that you have. At the same time, you signed up for it. That's why I be getting on. That's why I be getting on my nerves when I see NBA players talk and coaches talking about, well, maybe we should shrink the games to 65. Nah, fam. I've been growing up and y'all been playing 82 games my whole goddamn life. Marks was playing 82 games in some whack ass Converse. So now we gonna change the amount. Like we was playing 82 games when it wasn't no private jets and we ain't had no masseuses and all of that. And we ain't had
Well,
we was playing 82 games when we was smoking squares and playing spades and betting
they
money.
were drinking beer after the game.
Yeah, when we
We talked
drinking
about this
and it wasn't even
on
beer. It wasn't even the good beer. Like
nah. It was like
we was on the
Budweiser.
plane smoking squares and drinking Miller Lite, a Miller Genuine Draft. Like y'all wasn't even strolls. Y'all was drinking strolls. I was drinking strolls at the games, fam. And playing back to back after having a 6 pack of strolls and losing $15,000 on a domino game, and you want to kill your teammate because you
Because you
think he
got a
cheated.
second job too.
Yeah, but you think he cheated after playing dominoes, but you drunk so many strolls on the way to Detroit, you don't really know what happened. But now I got to go play with Dennis Rodman and Rick Mahorn, and they just cheated me out of a game. Them the dudes that was playing 82 games. Y'all, stub my toe. I'm gonna be out for 5 games. Same thing but it is different for football. Y'all should not be like in support of all of these games. I really look at the players why y'all go to 14 to 16 games instead of 14. So y'all vote on it. Y'all like it. It get y'all some extra money. I bet I'm with it.
Uh, we talked about this on a Patreon pod on Tuesday. Shout out my guy Waz, and he was saying that they need to cut the games. He said it needs to be like that happened in the Premier League, where you just play one team twice. And I've always said to cut a lot of this crap out, and this is going to go to the Adam Silver's tank plan. We need relegation in American sports. It will never happen because these owners are not going to agree for you to cut them out the money. But if you bring relegation to American sports, it's going to force GMs to do their job. It's going to force
GMs reach him
owners
in.
to do their jobs. If you get relegated in the Premier League, not only are you going to lose half your good players. They're not going to play in the second division league. People are losing jobs, which keeps ownership accountable to a certain degree. That's never going to happen in America, but that's the only way that you're going to get some piece of the pie as far as like you know, not being under control by
Hey
these
Scott, real
leagues and
quick,
stuff like
if if
yeah.
if we care about the WNBA, we got breaking news. The Connecticut Sun has been sold to the Fertitta family, and the Houston Comets are back. So
Oh, the Houston Comets are back.
The Connecticut Sun will be going to Houston. So the Houston Comets are back.
So we know what's messed up about this. You got one. I don't know if you want to call Connecticut Sun iconic. They won a couple WNBA championships, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Um, I don't think they won, but I mean, them being in Connecticut. Um, when you look at Connecticut and everything, and the University of Connecticut, I think that's about it. I don't remember them winning.
No, they have not. Well, I take
Yeah, I
back
don't
what I
remember
was
them
going to
winning
say.
no NBA titles.
Well, it don't matter. The
W.
Comets are back.
Yep, that's right. The Comets have more championships
Yeah, I was about
than
to
the
say
Connecticut Sun, and they ain't been
my
around for 25 years.
my initial introduction to the WNBA was when it was first launched, and I remember Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina. What was her name?
Tina Thompson.
Tina Thompson. I think they won like 4 in a row.
They did. They won the first
Yeah.
4.
The fact that that history was erased was ridiculous. And by the way, perfect segue here by Bang is we're gonna bring about another franchise.
Producers be
Back.
producing. That's what I'm talking about. I keep saying,
Bang.
y'all producers and hosts don't be really producing and hosting like that. We do here.
Bring real producers
I ain't
back.
gonna hold you.
Bring real producers back. The NBA announced this week that they are approving expansion and that Vegas will be getting an NBA franchise, adding on to them having the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, the uber successful Las Vegas Aces. Shout out to Asia Wilson. And the Oakland A's are going to be coming to Vegas as well. When? Who knows? I wish we had Courtney here to rant about it. But by the way, I did not fire Courtney. I just want to keep saying that. Okay? I did not fire her. I spoke to her this morning. We will have her on the Patreon pod soon. Her work schedule is crazy right now. So I just want to put that out there. I did not fire Courtney. And I did not fire Dante. He is at Truist Park right now covering the Braves game.
He worked.
But the other team that's going to be getting the franchise is the Seattle Supersonics. Now, we don't know if they're going to be called the Supersonics.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure they will be. But we haven't gotten official confirmation on it yet. I'm 99% sure it will be. But what we have learned is that everything they accomplished prior to moving to Oklahoma, they're getting their history back. I always thought it was bad when they would bring Gary Payton to Thunder games. Like, no.
Nasty.
No. The first Thunder legend is Kevin Durant. The second Thunder legend is Russell Westbrook. The third Thunder legend is probably James Harden. Okay? And then on and on and on. That's where theirs began. There's a fun fact. How many young people do you think know that Kevin Durant played a full season with the Seattle Supersonics? Not only that, Russell Westbrook was the Seattle Supersonics' last draft pick. These are Jeopardy questions that I bet people didn't know. Now, I'm very cool with this. I think Vegas, even though they're not going to have a core fan base, you just want as many attractions as possible when people come to Vegas, right? So having an NBA team will help. My question is this. Is there enough talent to fill the expansion teams? Are they just going to be lottery bound for the next decade plus? Like, what's going to be the plan? I don't think the NBA have had an expansion team probably since, was the Bobcats the last expansion team?
I believe so.
I think that was the last one. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to inject them with talent. I do have a hot take here. Depending on when Seattle actually starts playing games again, because I'm pretty sure they got to figure out stadium stuff and
they
things
already
like
got
that.
The stadium.
Oh, they already got the stadium?
They renovated the stadium 4 years ago for this reason.
Well, that goes to my point even more. Kevin Durant is going to finish his career with the damn, I just saw some news that I cannot say on the air.
You talking about
this
what
person is a friend of the program. checking. You see me in chat. Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I think Kevin Durant is going to finish his career with Seattle. I really do. We're at the point right now where Kevin Durant is a journeyman. He is a hired gun. I haven't watched too much NBA, but I've watched enough NBA this season to know that the Houston Rockets just out there wasting all our time. That's really all they're doing. Katie is just collecting checks and being able to live in the state that he went to college to. And I hope he's taking advantage of living in a city that has gorgeous black women. That's what I'm hoping that Kevin Durant is doing. But he will end his career in Seattle. Overall, I think this is a cool announcement. We'll see how they can get talent there. But Bang, what do you feel about this news?
I can tell y'all right now, for anybody that knows me, this includes family and friends. You know, my favorite team growing up in the NBA was the Seattle Supersonics. I am a Gary Payton fan. I am a Sean Kemp fan. I'm a Detlef Schrempf fan. I'm a Derek McKee fan. I am a Vincent Askew fan, Hershey Hawkins fan. I am a fan of Irvin Johnson. Yeah, I am a
Not
fan.
Magic.
Not Magic.
Irvin Johnson.
Talk about Irvin Johnson. When
My
Seattle
first
played,
ever jersey was a Sean Kemp Seattle Supersonics before the 96 rebrand. I'm talking about the original colors.
oh boy, look,
Yeah.
anybody
The
knows
point in
me
the Kembe
know.
Mutombo jersey.
Yeah, anybody knows me. I'm a Seattle Supersonics fan to the point where I thought I was gonna move to Seattle. I almost became a Seattle Seahawks fan, and I was like, nah, I'm straight on that shit. I'm good on that. But Seattle Supersonics,
In retrospect, that might have been a better decision than rooting for the Bears.
I mean, hey, but I feel you. But no, I'm straight. But when they played the Bulls in the 1996 NBA Finals, I was probably the only person in Chicago that was like, you know what? Mike ain't got to win this one. And I remember getting jumped by my two cousins, because I was a Seattle Seahawks, Supersonics fan. In fact, the night that they beat the Chicago Bulls, they called me gloating because they knew how much of a Seattle Sonics fan I am. So I am telling you right now, when this is finally official, when this is finally official, I renounce my fandom of the Chicago Bulls. I don't care how bad the Seattle Supersonics are when they start, they gonna be all right.
I don't
I,
blame you.
I will be, point blank period, a card carrying member of the Seattle Supersonics once everything is solidified. That's the team that I grew up rooting for. My favorite player is from that team. John Kemp is on that team, and I can name other players. I was there for
Desmond
the Ray
Mason.
Allen era. I was I thought Patrick Ewing was gonna be decent in the Seattle
Oh, you
Sonics
was real
uniform.
deep in the song.
Yeah,
You
I
thought
am
his
a
knees were still gonna work.
I am a delusional Seattle Supersonics fan. So when this happens, hey Scott, you cut this up. I will be renouncing my fandom for the Chicago
But
Bulls.
see, this is the thing.
Card carrying member of the
It's
Seattle
not like the
Supersonics
Bulls
fan
are gonna
club.
give you an opportunity to say, "Oh, you can stay over there." They're not gonna be good ever again.
Look, but see, look, you know how some people be like, yo, I got this Eastern Conference team and this Western Conference
Nah,
team?
I
Nope.
can't do that.
Nope. Once this is official, I am all day Seattle Supersonics like I was when I was a shorty.
The only close thing I got to that was like rooting for two teams is I wish the Dodgers well, but that's because I lived there for 10 years. Okay,
Yeah, you
you
live
know
there.
what?
I ain't never been to Seattle. I
Yeah,
ain't even never
exactly.
set foot.
But this is why I'm not mad at you because of what the Bulls have been doing the last almost 30 years. I don't blame you. I am a non. You know how somebody says, "Oh, I'm a non-practicing Christian," or I believe in God. I just don't go to church or something like that. That's
Yep.
how I am with the Bulls. I'm a Bulls fan. I just don't watch or follow them. Okay, that's why I'm at with them. And the same thing with the White Sox. I will say this. Somebody, I think it was Bobby, said, "Is this a Chicago thing?" I don't know if it's a Chicago thing. I just know with me, I'm finna throw a throwback name at y'all. My mom told me I could get a jersey when I was like, I think I was 6 or 7. We went to Venture. No, y'all remember Venture.
Yes.
And the first jersey I saw, I wanted a Scottie Pippen. This is the 90s. You weren't finding any Bulls jerseys. They were all sold out. And Sean Kemp was right there. I liked Sean Kemp. I wanted a Gary Payton, but glove wasn't there. I was like, I'll go with the Rain Man. That's a good one right there. And I got the jersey.
Look,
So
look, you know
that's where
what?
I got it from.
You know what arguments I still have with people to this day when they say that Scottie Pippen had the most disrespectful dunk when he dunked over Patrick Ewing in the
Yeah.
1994 playoffs. I say bullshit to that. No, it is Sean Kemp dunking on Alton Lister in the 1993
Woo!
NBA playoffs. Because it's
Yeah.
not just, you got to watch that whole play. Sean Kemp windmills over him, does the point. None of Alton Lister's teammates help him up. They don't push Sean Kemp. In fact, some of them chuckle. That is the most disrespectful dunk in NBA history. I love the Sonics. I will always love the Sonics. Gary Payton is an all-timer because he has a Gary Payton Jr. and a Gary Payton second. Sean Kemp started doing cocaine after he left Seattle. That's how much he missed Seattle, fam. He might have been doing it there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty sure
I
you do
would
it there.
I wouldn't have left the Seattle Supersonics if they would have traded Sean Kemp for Scottie Pippen. Look, fam, I love the Seattle Supersonics. I love that green and gold. I can't wait for them to come back. Shouts out to Key Arena. You know what I'm
Key
saying?
Arena,
Shouts out to the
yeah.
Key Arena. You know what I'm saying? One of the loudest arenas in
One of the loudest
NBA.
arenas. Shout out to
Oh,
Arco Arena in Sacramento, another loud
get it.
arena. They used to have the cowbells.
Yup.
And I don't know about them old stadiums. Now, from the Vegas perspective, Seattle already has a built-in nostalgia rebrand plan. How can a Vegas team get good? Because I
That
feel
I
like
can't.
the Raiders are still having the issue with it right now, and the Raiders are one of the most iconic brands in sports. I don't know what they're
Now,
gonna do with this one.
I don't know what they're gonna do with this one either. Now this is a different story. Um, on this one, because Seattle still has some name recognition.
Yeah,
And there's people who've seen the Supersonics in their head. They like, yo, like bring Seattle back. It was random young people just like, yeah, they should bring a team back in Seattle. Then you got people like Jamal Crawford and others who are from Seattle. Like we know ballers from Seattle. We don't know that in Vegas. So that's going to be very interesting what to do that. Now, by that time, you will have the Raiders there. You will have quite possibly,
the
because I know
A's.
Courtney is still skeptical,
Yeah,
but we have the Las Vegas baseball team there. And then you have the basketball team there. That's going to be
can't forget the
interesting.
Aces. Aces got a big following out there.
Oh, so we can't forget about the basketball team. And well, we don't want to forget that there will be a basketball team, but the Aces is there, and they are the biggest basketball team in town. I just don't know. I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to be able to build this up there.
Can't forget
If
about the Golden Knights. You're right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
They won
Golden Knights, and they
a
actually
Stanley
have a
Cup.
Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So my thing with the Vegas team is more about who's going to get that team. You're gonna have to have an owner that's active out there and not just have a team because it's gonna bring revenue. I think a Seattle organization is gonna come out and try to get something that they have not gotten since 1979. With the Vegas team, do you want a winner? Or do you want to just have a competitive team in the market that's going to bring tickets? If you get that type of owner, they're going to be Huff forever. If you get an owner that want to win, they might win quickly.
You need a
As far as the
figurehead.
talent part, no, talent is going to be there. Talent is going to be there. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm not worried about the talent. I'm more worried about the ownership and who actually get these teams. But I think Seattle would be the team that'd be most okay because
I'm
of
gonna
name recognition.
throw a soccer reference at you that you probably don't know, but you probably do. I don't know. This they got it. They need a Ryan Reynolds. So when Ryan
Yes,
Reynolds
yes,
bought
I'm aware.
Wrexham, and that Wrexham went from the National League. So people who don't watch, the players don't even get paid in the National League. A lot of them got jobs. So now they're in the championship, and if they win the playoffs in the championship, they're in the Premier League. So they need
Ah,
somebody who can get them in there. And it's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from Sunny Everyday Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know the name of
always
the
sunny
TV
in
show.
Philadelphia.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Rob McElhenney. They have put a lot of money into this club to the point that they are a couple wins away from making the Premier League if they win the playoffs. But because they have a figurehead, they grew such a big fandom, not just in England, but in America, because everybody loved Deadpool. I was watching the TV show before I even got into the sport, just because I liked the TV show. It was like a real life Ted Lasso. That's kind of what the show was like. So if Vegas can get them a famous owner who's gonna put money into the team, I think that'll help a lot. It could be LeBron, but LeBron gonna have to retire soon for that to happen. Or maybe Tom Brady. Maybe get Tom Brady. He's King Vegas right now anyway. You're going to need somebody who's a figurehead, who's going to be around, spend money, and to help build the brand. I think that's probably the best way. But Seattle be straight. Seattle got a built-in, I can give you a relaunch plan right now without even thinking about it. That's an easy market right there. But Scope got a couple more things. We're going to wrap this up like in 20, 25 minutes. Adam Silver, he also announced some other things. So we all know the issues with tanking. The league is trying to curb that and trying to make sure that these teams stop tanking. So this came out this morning from Shams. The NBA presented three comprehensive anti-tanking concepts to its board of governors on Wednesday, with modifications expected to each before formal vote in May, per ESPN sources. The first one is 18 teams in draft lottery, seed 7 to 15 in each conference, flattened odds. Second one is 22 teams in the lottery using 2-year record, seed 7 to 15, plus the 4 playoff first round exits in both conferences. And then there's 18 teams in a 5x5 lottery. Bottom 5 teams have equal odds for the top pick with a lottery form for picks 1 to 5. Now I'm going to say what Kevin Hart said in the iconic movie 40-Year-Old Virgin. You using too many words. I'm going to take it as a sign of disrespect. Watch your mouth. This is too many words, bro. Like, is this too many different scenarios? Just go to what Bang said on this show probably like a month, 2 months ago. Give everybody one draft ball. Put it in the lottery. Bam. Somebody gonna get lucky. You're tanking right there because everybody has the equal chance to get the number 1 draft pick. Or just have everybody you can just sign them. And then that's not going to help the small teams because these big athletes are going to want to go to the bigger teams. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you're going to have the same issue you have in soccer where the smaller clubs never get any great talent, and the talent that they develop end up going to a big club. So it's one of the two. Either free agency, abolish the draft, or give everybody one draft ball. Because this don't make no sense to me. Like whatsoever. And these teams are not going to care. That I don't think that outside of those two, I don't think there's a way to curb it.
Yeah, I was sitting up there trying to read this shit. I was like you said, it's too many words, fam. What does all this mean? Like this 2-year record and no, have everybody get the same amount of ping pong balls and just do it that way. Y'all didn't make the playoffs. All right, one ping pong ball for you each, and everybody get a chance. Ain't nobody gonna try to tank then. They're not gonna purposely tank because they like, yo, I got the same chances, dude, over that guy. And if you do it now and get it over with, then all of these teams that tried to tank and that thing, when they find out that the damn Golden State Warriors get the number 1 pick, and it wasn't no cold damn sheet or whatever they end up getting it, then it's like, see, man, See, I'm not gonna tank no more because what is the point? There will be no incentive on tanking if everybody got the same chance. So all of
The Spurs
this,
win the NBA championship and they get the number one pick.
yeah, and you know what? Because I think they got a lottery pick in this joint.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so yeah, that will suck. All right, that will suck because now you just traded this pick over here, and that the Spurs got it, and now you looking like damn, they got the number one pick. Now they about to end up with Peterson or Acuff or a Banza or whoever is the number one pick, or they might just say, you know what, we ain't really got to get the number one pick. We gonna pick for need, or we gonna try to fleece a team like that. Is how you do this. If any of these things don't have to do with everybody having the same chance to win in the lottery, then what is the point? You're not killing the incentive to tank. You're just adding an extra layer on a reason to tank. Just give everybody the same amount of ping pongs and then go from there.
Yep. Now to a team who tries their best to not get the number one pick, that is the Chicago Bulls. So this headline came out this week, well, rumor, I guess, from the Sun Times, Joe Cowley. Usually when Cowley speaks, there's some truth
We,
behind it.
hmm
And I know most Bulls fans don't want to hear it, but I was one of those Bulls fans who like Cali don't know what he's talking about because he's saying stuff that I didn't want to hear. But he's been true a lot of times. And he has said that it sounds like Arturas Karnizovas is trying to set up our guy, West Side West. And I'm only calling him our guy because it was, Bane gave him a nickname. He has the easiest job in Chicago. In fact, I've never seen this man in Chicago outside of his introductory press conference. Um, AK is setting West up for the fall, firing him. Billy steps away, and now AK has all the power. To do what exactly? I don't know. I saw this headline. They were debating it on the score, on the Holmes and Spiegel. And my opinion was this: it's somebody who doesn't really care on the Bulls. It doesn't matter. It does not matter who is sitting in that general manager chair or president of basketball operations chair, as long as the Reinsdorfs have control of this franchise. It does not matter. It is the best job security on earth. Working for Jerry Reinsdorf, working for Michael Reinsdorf, working for all of them. Because you're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter. So they didn't even fire John Paxson. John Paxson still has a club seat. He still has a parking space over there. They was like, you know what, we're gonna pay you a little bit to shut up and just not be general manager anymore. And that's the same thing. It's a circle of shit. Let's just get the black man out and continue to be mediocre. And also while we're at it, we done made all these trades, which I said was a good thing, and now we're winning pointless games. Continuing our circle of mediocrity. That's pretty I don't have too much to say about it. I just think it's funny because it's like, what's the reason?
And this is part of the reason why I
And that's
can't
why you're going
wait.
to Seattle.
That's why I can't. That's why I'm going to Seattle because this right here. I did see my man David Ha on 104.3 The Score talk about this too, about how there could be some changes, some major changes for the organization. Billy Donovan having health issues in the family. He didn't really deny that he would be interested in the North Carolina job too when they asked him about it the other day. I don't know what Mark Eversley do. Somebody's gonna have to let me know. I think he still gets athlete shoes. That's the only thing that I could think of. He gets athlete shoes. Um, so when you say major changes, I can't think of anything but wholesale changes starting from the top up. What is AK giving anybody that a good reason for him to stick around? I don't see any good reason for him to stick around. Now, this is the Bulls organization. So just as much as I don't see a good reason for AK to stick around, I don't see the Chicago Bulls picking the right person to lead the organization. Now, with AK, I had all of the high hopes because he came from the Denver
Oh,
organization.
I had extreme high hopes, bro.
Yeah. And
They sent me off.
oh, this was a send off of the year. Because one of the reasons why I had so much high hopes is because Denver wasn't drafting in the first 5, 10 picks, really. No, they was delivering on the picks that they got. So my question, unfortunately, my question is, if you clean house, who you gonna bring in? Who is the person out there that if you were a Chicago Bulls fan, if you were a media member, if you were Michael Reinsdorf and company, who's that person that you could give a blank check to and say, come and run this organization for us? I don't know who that is because Sam Presti's not going anywhere. That would be the only blank checker. So if he's not going anywhere,
Bring
then
real
who?
executives back because I don't know none of their
Right.
names anymore.
But I'm glad that you said that because what I wanted to say about the Seattle and the Las Vegas thing is same thing that producers don't be producing, hosts don't be hosting. Guess what? NBA executives and GMs don't be GMing.
They
They
don't.
just look cool.
Yep.
You know the people who are doing it. Go look at these teams.
I know the Los Angeles Dodgers general manager now.
Yeah. So what we gonna
Oh,
what
this
we
is a
gonna
good one. Bring Bob Myers out of retirement, man. He built the Warriors. Bring Bob Myers out of retirement.
I would like it.
He said the
I
Bulls
would
gonna
be,
hire Rob
but he got
Pelinka.
like 15 jobs. He
That's
over there
also
helping
true.
he over there helping the Washington Commanders. See, that's my
Who,
point.
Bob Myers?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Bob Meyer, like he consult with the Washington Commanders.
Does Theo Epstein do basketball? I want to know that. Yeah, but AK got
Yeah.
off on the. I was part of the team that drafted Jokic the same way that Ryan Poles gets off on the. I'm the team that drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So Bob Myers was hired by the Washington Commanders in January 2024 as an advisor to assist in
Interesting.
reforming the team's culture and searching for key leadership. So he's an advisor to Josh Harris. So he can go get another job. But yeah, like that would be the only other person. And the only reason why I didn't say his name is because I know he's been doing so much other stuff.
Said Jerry don't bring back Rod Thorne.
So yeah, that's my whole thing. My whole thing with the Bulls thing is who you gonna go get?
Fine God. So we're gonna wrap this up. So I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I came across this list from Fox Sports about the top 10
Oh
North
yeah.
American sports rivalries list. And I had an actual problem with the list. But I had some comments. So I'm gonna read off the list from 10 to 1, and then we'll give our thoughts. So at number 10, they've got the Dodgers and Giants. Now, I don't really think that on the field it's that big of a rivalry because I can't really remember any iconic Dodgers or Giants moments. But as somebody who lived on the West Coast and know that if you go to a Dodgers or a Giants game, especially at Dodger Stadium, make sure you don't push anybody because you might get stabbed. Okay?
Yep.
There's a lot of poking. You out there dealing with people who've been drinking Modelo's since 2 p.m. in that hot Dodger Stadium parking lot where the sun is just beaming on you. So just off the violence that I have personally witnessed at Dodgers Giants games, I have no problem with it being on you. Number 9, Cowboys Eagles. I'm just gonna read them through and I'll give my thoughts. Number 9, Cowboys Eagles. Number 8, Steelers Ravens. Number 7, Army versus Navy. Number 6, Duke versus North Carolina. Number 5, Lakers versus Celtics. Number 4, USA versus Mexico in soccer. Number 3, Packers Bears. Number 2, Michigan Ohio State. Number 1, Yankees Red Sox. I don't really have an issue with majority of the rivalries on here. I don't know why USA and Mexico is on here. Like, I didn't know that was that big of a rivalry in soccer. Maybe I'm wrong. But even if it is, it shouldn't be number 4. When is the last time Yankees Red Sox has been fired? Yankees Red Sox ain't been fired since the Red Sox broke the curse. They met in the playoffs like a year or two ago, and nobody cared. Like it doesn't have the same sting. Aaron Judge doesn't hate whoever the best player is on the Red Sox. 'Cause I don't know right now. Remember when Pedro knocked out Don Zimmer,
Yeah.
tripped the old man, and when Veritek fought A Rod. Like until we get that, it's not number one. But I have no problem with being number one is Michigan versus that team up north. I mean Ohio State versus that team up north. That's number one. 100%.
Oh, Michigan versus okay.
Oh yeah, that is number one in my opinion.
Mm.
That is to this day. It don't matter the record of either team. Ask any Michigan fan, ask any Ohio State fan. I could call my brother right now, and he will rant for the next 25 minutes, unfiltered, about his hate for them. I think that should be number one. Bears Packers, you know how we feel about that. I think this is a top rivalry, no matter how much they've been running the Bears prior to this year. It's just a hate between both teams that I think now is going to go to another level. So I have no problem with that being on there. Lakers Celtics is stepped on, man. It's the same thing as Yankees Red Sox. When's the last time you cared about a Celtics Lakers game? They ain't even met in the finals in almost 20 years.
I don't care unless they do play in the finals.
Yeah. And in regular season, nobody cares. So they should be on here, but not in the top five. Duke, North Carolina needs to be high. It needs to be high.
Fam, I know I'm about to sound unpatriotic as hell right now. But who the fuck really care about Army versus Navy, fam?
Nobody.
About the Army and the Navy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, are we just forcing it?
Yeah,
Like Army
I think
Navy,
so.
Army Navy. I'm sorry, I'll just speak for me here. I give no care about Army versus Navy, and I know people from the Army, and I know people from the Navy, and I ain't never seen them go, "Hey man, let me go watch Army versus Navy because we care about hoorah and all that other shit." Man, it's a whole bunch of players on Army and Navy who we ain't gonna never know in our lifetime. They ain't gonna never make it on no NFL field. They gonna play that game and then they gonna go be like mechanics. They gonna go be doctors, lawyers, mechanics, insurance salesmen. They gonna get them some nice jobs, or they gonna be career lawmen in the armed forces, and all of that is cool. But I don't give matter of fact, their names are not even on the back of the jerseys. It's Army or Navy.
It
So we
ain't.
don't even know we don't even know who playing this shit. Like we barely know the coaches. So
Yeah, I don't know the coaches at all.
And Army and Navy in my lifetime ain't never been good. No, I guess back in the day they used to be like
A
NCAA
brouhaha.
championship contenders and all of that shit. Like shouts out to Roger Staubach, who played for Navy and whatever. But we didn't care about Navy when David Robinson was playing for Navy. They was like, who's this tall black dude down here? So yeah, so Army Navy being a top 10 rivalry, I get it if you white. I get it if you American.
And not even
I
if
get
you
it.
white.
No.
If
I
you
get it if you white. And this is no this is I get it if you white. I get it if you in the armed forces. I don't get it for anything else other than that. Somebody's gonna have to tell me the Army and Navy game to watch that was so thrilling. Cause them shits be so boring. Them the
yeah, give me
boringest college football game that I know.
yeah.
The only reason why we care about Army and Navy because the president be going there and they be booing his ass. That's the only reason. Ain't nobody care. Did we care about Army and Navy when Barack Obama was the president?
No.
There we go. That's your answer right there.
That's that
Nobody
old
give a
man
damn
stuff. Cause
about
even
Army and Navy
Trump
but Army and Navy.
Trump make like an executive order for it can be aired at an exclusive time. Like,
Yeah,
why ain't nobody
because
watching that game?
nobody watching that shit. We are like, so?
Like nobody
So?
watching that game, bro.
Like I
I would
get it
watch
if you
any sporting event on earth before I watch that.
yeah, like I get it if you one of those proud to be an American, gladly stand up. I get it if you that type of American. I get it. I get it if you're that type of red-blooded American who just loves his country. But even that dude is going to sleep with his hand in his pants when Army and Navy are playing on NBC. That shit's boring. It
I
is
want to know
boring.
what actual drug Tiger Woods was on this time. I know
Oh,
it
he
wasn't
on perks,
alcohol.
fam.
He on perks.
He was on perks, fam. That boy was zooted out of his mind driving.
I'm glad he's healthy. I'm not healthy, but safe. But
They,
come on,
he
brother.
blew it.
Come on,
He blew.
Eldrick.
He blew in the joint, and it was nothing. Then they's like, "Oh yeah, you got to go ahead and take a piss." And he's like, "Ah, I
I
can't do
can't let
that.
it happen, brother.
I can't let that happen."
Last
Hey
comment
man,
on
Tiger
this
Woods needs to
list.
go to rehab. That's it.
Yes. Steelers Ravens. I'm fine with this on here. And Cowboys Eagles, that should be changed to NFC East. Period.
Now
Like
Cowboys, they didn't have Cowboys Commanders on there.
no.
That's the one.
I think it should just be NFC East. It should just be NFC
Oh, you should
East. Yeah.
just
And
put all of them.
also, I'll throw a wild card. It's not the games we care about. Falcons Saints. If you want to see hate,
Oh
oh
yeah,
my
they hate each
God.
other.
They hate each other. On Twitter, if you want to see Hurricane Katrina jokes come out, just go on Twitter during the Saints Falcons game. Oh my God. That is
Look,
legit hate.
look. One of my favorite Atlanta moments when I lived down there is when Katrina happened, and they were all moving there, and somebody had told me that it was some folks from New Orleans that came to a block in Zone 4, and they was like, "Yo, all of y'all got to get up off this block. This is our block now, and if y'all ain't up off this block, y'all gonna get off this block." And they said they gave them a week. 3 days later, that block was empty, and the New Orleans people took over. I know because I know. I know
You
why a
ran
lot of
off your
people
own block.
I know why a lot of people in Atlanta hate the New Orleans Saints. It ain't got nothing to do with the Saints. It
Oh,
has
bro.
everything to
They gonna hate
do.
to it this year.
It's everything to do with who had to come over.
That's hilarious. It's not, but it is. It is. But the hard thing about, and I wrap it up with this, it's really hard to have rivalries in today's era of sports because there's so much roster overhaul. I feel like rivalries, you got to look at the importance for the fan bases more than the actual qualities of the games. Um, but if I had to redo the list, I think Michigan, Ohio State would be on there.
Yeah,
Like
Michigan, Ohio State would be number one.
yeah, you would get assaulted in either state wearing the gear of another team. I tell you that right now, man. But that is all we got today. I will say, I noticed this week thing is I am 2 years away from 40 now. Yeah, I'll be 38 this year. Be 38 this year. I am moving into my soccer track jacket era, where I am gonna be dressing like a soccer coach. Because these joints are very comfortable. I bought one last week. I got another one coming. These are real. I already told people I'm gonna start dressing like Coach Prime. All my 40s.
That's me and joggers.
So yeah,
That's me and
sweatpants and
oh,
soccer track jackets. That's all I'm wearing.
I can't stand jeans now.
I gave up jeans during COVID because I was at the house all day. What am I wearing jeans for?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
that's
I
what it is.
swore it off. I have not worn jeans since quarantine. It's either sweatpants or cargo pants. Only or shorts if it's hot outside. That's it. So yeah, if you see me walking around and I'm dressed like a defensive coordinator, mind your business. All right, that's
That's
where
it.
we at. Anyway, man, Bang, anything you got to promote? Y'all didn't do some dude this week, did y'all?
Cause Mike told me at the last minute we definitely back next week.
That's hilarious.
I'm talking about I had to run down ready and everything, and Mike was like, "Yeah, we coming back next week." So so new episode of Some Dude is next week. New episode of First Black Champ is this week. I've been rewatching wrestling from WWF Superstars starting in 1986. So it's been a lot of aha moments that's been going on when it come to wrestling. Like I was watching episodes where Margs ain't have finishing moves. Like they
Here's a
just
question: where can you find the WWE archive? Because there's no WWE network anymore. Is it all on Netflix?
so Netflix has it, but they have the WWE and WCW Vault on YouTube. But for some of the old stuff that they can't put up there because of like old music licensing and all of that stuff and the grade or the quality or whatever, they probably that don't have the best quality grade or whatever. Various YouTubers will put up stuff because they
Oh, so
recorded
it's
it on
not
their
on an
tapes and stuff
official
like that.
joint.
So it's not on the official joint. That's why I won't even say the name where to find it. I'll send the link though, because I don't want nobody to take it down.
Like, I miss
But
all them documentaries they had on WWE Network, man.
that is supposed, like all of those old joints, is supposed to be
I
coming up
come to
on
Netflix.
Netflix, like
Okay.
the Rock joint, the Stone Cold joint, and all of that. But I've been enjoying this rewatch. Seeing the debut of the Million Dollar Man, the actual debut, and seeing some of these other stuff that I did not even see when I was a kid, I was like, oh man, this shit dope. The How the Survivor Series came to be, and how the Royal Rumble was tested out before it became a major event. And I just passed WrestleMania 4. So now I'm about to get into the SummerSlam build. Like, I actually, as a wrestling fan, I've really been enjoying this watch because now I'm starting to get to when I actually started
Started
watching
watching.
wrestling.
Yeah.
But three takeaways real quick. One, I understand why Macho Man is popular because that motherfucker was on every goddamn episode of of Superstars. Like from '86 to
You
now,
know, the Slim Jim commercials too.
he was damn near on every episode. So I understand how he became the number two. The other thing that I thought that I learned is, like I mentioned, like people's finishing moves wasn't set. Like the Ravishing Rick Rude had a backbreaker before he had the Rude Awakening. The Million Dollar Man had the $1 Million Dream, but then he did it into like a Russian leg sweep, and it was others. And then the third one, oh man, wrestling was definitely stereotypical. Cause Jesse the Body Ventura called Coco Beware buckwheat too many times in my life.
Remember when X Pac dressed in blackface?
Yeah, well,
Triple H.
it's an episode of Superstars where my man said, "I think his dad is buckwheat," and I could tell by his head that his daddy didn't have enough money to go get his haircut, so we don't know what he did. I was like, "Yo,
It's
this
ridiculous.
and Mexican connection because the tag team that Tito sent the tag team that Rick the Model Martel was in before Strike Force was the Can Am connection, and and Jesse the Body when he left, when Tom Zink left, Tito Santana took his place, and they was like Strike Force. He said, why did they call themselves Strike Force? How come they just couldn't call themselves the Mexican Connection? Get it? Because one Mexican and one is from Canada, so they should have just named
That's
themselves
insane.
Mexican. I was like, yo,
That's like
how
when
did...
JBL was chasing people away from the border. People don't remember
Yes,
that.
my man was letting them fly in 1987. So that's it. We're going to have new episodes coming this week.
Speaking of rewatch, I have learned that when I do my MCU rewatches now, I'm gonna have to start rewatching sagas. Cause I started a rewatch months ago, like from the first Iron Man movie. But I watch it in
Mhm.
story order. If you watch it in release order, you are a terrorist. You have to watch it in story order. So Captain America, the first one first, because it starts in the
Oh,
40s. And if you want it, I will send y'all the list and watch it in story order. If you start with Iron Man and then you go to like the 90s with Captain Marvel when
that's
you in the
nasty.
Infinity War time, you're a terrorist. You got to watch it in story order. But when I do that, I've noticed Marvel has too many titles now that I got to start doing my rewatches in phases now because it's just too long.
Yeah.
It's too long. There's like 50 movies, and that's not including the TV shows. So I'll say all that. Oh, one last thing. Paradise is the best show on TV. Best show on TV. I wish I waited till next week because since it's international break and there's no soccer to watch, I've been catching up on my shows. And I was like, oh, let me just watch season 2 of Paradise. I have had anxiety every episode.
So you all caught up?
I'm all caught up. I'm all caught up. I'm all caught
Mm,
up.
I
So if
we're
you're
not
not caught up,
we're
huh?
now watching Who is Alex videos on YouTube just waiting.
Oh yeah, but see, remember
Or yeah.
when who was Sterling K. Brown's friend who they killed? The police officer, white dude. Remember when they
Um
did the flashback scene and he killed old boy? The lady name was Alex. I think that's her. Maybe she got like a certain power and it keeps the bunk over. I don't know. But I think Link is her son.
I think so. My theory is they took her brain. That the lady
Yeah,
talk, they took her brain and everything, and they imported it in some joint like Terminator. Like that
yeah.
Terminator when you saw Helena Bonham Carter up in there. I think it's something like that.
It's
Oh
the
yeah,
power
and down the
source.
fuck St. Louis too. Yeah. Hey,
Oh, it's with
Jason
Jason
Bateman, look.
Bateman. If Bateman in, I'm
Jason
watching.
Jason Bateman. I will go out and say this right now. Jason Bateman might be the best limited series actor of all time.
I wouldn't even say limited series, like, cause he bodied Ozark.
Well, Ozarks too. So he's the best. Like out of this streaming era,
Yeah,
I'll even put it like this: streaming era actors.
Bateman got the
There's no
MVP.
better streaming era actor than Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman can do the most serious role and the most funny role. I don't know if you saw that. It was like a low budget Netflix movie. I think came out 2 Christmases ago. Where it was like set in an airport.
Yeah, with old dude that was Elton John. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, 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 yeah. That dude. And Jason Bateman was the villain. He was perfect. It's Rooster with Steve Carell. I've been seeing that. It's got my man who played Jamie Tart on Ted
That
Lasso. I
first
might check it
episode,
out.
that first episode was hilarious. But yeah, Jason Bateman, DTF, STL, yeah, he's the
I
best streaming era actor. He gets all them hit them joints.
I'll say this about Paradise. I think Link is Sinatra's son, and the crazy chick who got killed, Jane. I would have did it. We're gonna close it off like that. We're just gonna leave it like that. She had demise. I'd have did the same thing. Anyway, that is it for today's episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Pavy slept this entire episode.
Whole
I'm
episode.
going to badger him when he responds to my text. But anyway, I will be back. I don't know what I'm doing for the Patreon pod, but there will be a Patreon pod on Tuesday. So check that out. We'll be back next Friday. We were supposed to do summer sessions this week. That was my fault. I didn't get home on time. So we're gonna try again next week. I don't think Merc was in town anyway. So we're gonna try that for next week. So I'll be dropping some new content on the YouTube. Look out for that next week. At Barb Chair Scott, all social media platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Patreon, follow Bane at JR Bane. We gonna holler at y'all, man.
Peace.